What is up, guys? So this is going to be a hopefully a series on my journey with 75 Hard. So today is day one, and if you want to follow this more on Instagram, that's where I'm going to be posting more of it. Um, but really, this is just going to be my just short 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes of just me talking about something that's I think important for me at the current moment, and something that you guys can also benefit from, inshallah. So something that was on my mind as I was preparing to do 75 hard is by the way, my second time doing this. It's not the first time I've done it. I did back in 2022, and it was honestly the most transformational period of my life because it came at a point where I was just so fed up of where I'd been. So I was 210 pounds. I had, I was working as an appointment setter. Didn't really have, any career or, I had been in clinical research for a bit, but I was exploring working in, uh, you know, just doing my online business. So all of these different things. And it got to a point where a lot of this was, I was just looking at my life and it was just like, what's going on? I'm like, why am I not further ahead? And since that point, since I did 75 hard, and since I kind of went on, started building up my coaching business and starting to help my clients, I lose weight, get in shape, all that kind of good stuff. And I've been at a point now where it's things have started moving in the right direction. Things have moved in the right direction, and a lot of things have come to fruition that I've wanted to do for a long time. But over the past couple of weeks, past couple of days, I was just kind of thinking about maybe now's the time for me to do this again. Because what I've realized is that when you're trying to get to a new level and there's a new standard that you're working towards and there's new goals that you want to achieve, then it requires a new identity from you. That's the biggest thing. I'm huge on identity because that's the foundation for everything. If you see yourself as a certain way and you know that you're that kind of guy who can do these things, then it doesn't matter what situation you're in, you're going to find a way to get it done. Even this, like me recording this video, like I'm sure there's like my neighbors watching to be like, hey, what's this guy doing? I don't care, because I see myself as someone with a message to spread. Yes, I'm a fitness coach, I'm an entrepreneur in that sense, but as I'm recording this, the most important thing for me is just putting out a good message. And that's what I'm doing here. So, going back to what I was saying, what I realized over the past couple of days, couple of weeks, whatever, was that there's a new standard that I need to be hitting, and I'm not doing it right now because I've gotten very comfortable, to be very honest with you guys. A lot of things are going my way. I have a pretty good setup at home. So it's not like I need to be surviving necessarily, but that's also where the downfall of a lot of men lies, when you're too comfortable, when everything's going your way. So I asked myself, if I want my business to grow, if I want to reach these new goals that I have for myself, and if I want to almost put myself in a new reality that would have taken me 1, maybe 2 years, how can I speed that up? How can I get to a point where this all comes to me much faster? And that's why I decided to do 75 hard again. And you could do this without 75 hard necessarily. I have many friends who are also in the space who are doing their version of this like pretty much every single day. So it's not like this is the only way to do it. But because I have history with this program and because I've done this before and it absolutely changed my life, I know that me recommitting to this is actually something that's going to be beneficial for me. So that's just on the 75 hard aspect of it. It's not magical, but it does have a lot of power behind it in terms of the consistency aspect of you being absolutely dialed in for what you need to do in terms of your daily habits, the daily tasks that are required of you. So it does reinforce that very well. But that's not the point of this video. What I actually wanted to talk about was, you have no idea how much you're holding yourself back. This is like, because as I was saying, if I want to reach these new goals and I have all these dreams and all this stuff I want to do, and it requires a new man. the way I like to think about it is that the goals you're asking for right now, you can't hold them. You're not deserving of them. Especially if it's something like outlandish or something like that you've never. So that video cut out for a bit, but the man you are right now is not capable of holding those goals whatsoever. He can't do it. But there is a version of you 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 12 months from now, who is perfectly capable of holding that blessing and actually stewarding it and actually being in a position to be able to take care of it. Now, what you need to do is meet that man at the end of that. And that requires sacrifice. That requires giving up things that you're comfortable doing right now, because the identity that you're embodying right now is in many ways not compatible with the man you're trying to become. I mean, that's a very simple fact. I mean, there's nothing, that was like a profound teaching whatsoever. But my point with saying all of this is that that's where the friction comes in. That's where the unhappiness, that's where this constant state of anxiety or just feeling like you're behind and all these different things come, because where you are right now and where you're trying to be are two completely different men. And when we stay in this awkward zone of, we're trying to have the fruits of the men we're trying to become without changing who we are currently, that's where all this unhappiness flows from. It's because you're in direct contradiction with the man that you say you want to be. So what's the solution? It's very simple. You just start working towards that man. You become that man right now. It's not like you have to. Yes, I mean, he will materialize in the physical world, obviously, but you need to start acting and operating and thinking and believing just like him, as if you are him right now. What we see in our external reality is only a reflection of our internal reality. If we see ourselves a certain way, then our external reality has to, at some point, reflect that. The way I tell this to my clients, and this is a big thing that I teach for all of them, is the whole identity reset, the identity reconstruction. So if they want to see themselves, if they want to become a fit, lean, energetic, muscular Muslim man who's down 40 pounds and who has all this energy and he works out all the time and he's super disciplined about his nutrition and everything, you need to do that now. On day 0 of the program, you need to become him now. That's the only way that man will manifest physically in the next 3 to 6 to 12 months, whatever that looks like. That's the only way that'll happen. So, I mean, that's the whole crux of the issue. I mean, that's exactly what needs to happen for whatever goal you have. So, this is just a very, very short introduction vlog, whatever you want to call it, to this whole thing I'm going to be doing for the next 35 days. And I don't really have any real expectations of what I'm going to be getting out of this, except to do the one thing that I didn't do last time in my 75-hour journey. I didn't post it, I didn't document it. I did stories for it on my Instagram, so I'll link that below. I will be posting more daily updates and things like that, and more snapshots of my actual day, so you can check that out. But I didn't actually document it. Maybe it was for the better, because I was just so locked in and I was doing it for myself, and I was trying to just really be invested in the process. So that does have its merits. But now with this, I'm taking on the new challenge of actually documenting this. And this will be the documentation in a sense, just because my thoughts and how I think and how I see the world, that's what I want to be sharing. I don't believe in this idea that you have to, that you have to box yourself in. The best advice I've heard for when it comes to personal branding or just building a business, when it comes to, you being the face of the business, is that you are the business. You are the product. You are the solution. And through this, I want to share how I go about everything. How I go about fitness, how I go about life, how I go about all these different things that, we're struggling with or that we have questions about. And through my journey of actually solving some of these issues, the expectation or the hope is that I'll be able to do this for you as well and be with you on this journey, inshallah. So that's the video for today. I don't plan on keeping this more than maybe 10 to 12 minutes, maybe 15 minutes if I really want to go in depth into something. But the point with this is for this to become a regular occurrence for the next 75 days, and then inshallah we'll see how things progress if I want to dial it down for the next only 3 to 4 times per week. But that remains to be seen. This is still day 1 of 75 hard, so we're going to make this happen, inshallah. Keep me in your du'as, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next video, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.